Shaun.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you very much that you're taking the time here live at Adobe Summit 2025 for this interview. Before we dive in, what are the key trends which are on top of your mind in the Adobe Summit 2025?
That's a great question. So, for me, the trends are the same ones we've seen across the year, but just brought into sharper focus. So, digital experiences being at the heart of how customers try and drive what they're doing, particularly in the commerce world. It's all about delivering the right experiences to the right audiences. But that brings complexity for commerce, because then you start to have to think about catalogs and segmentation and strategy, and how do you drive your marketing for the right audiences and have that joint up kind of ecosystem. So for Summit, it's a really important opportunity to talk to customers and say, how is your commerce world living? Are you struggling with personalization? Are you struggling with catalog management? Are you struggling with delivering experiences? And they're the key trends we see and hear about a lot here.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for those insights. Focusing on Adobe Commerce, could you briefly walk us through the latest developments in Adobe Commerce?
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure. So when we think about those previous topics and we add in things like the cost of ownership, revenue growth, you have to break it back down to really the basics of an e-commerce organization. They're there to drive revenue growth and drive it across their existing storefronts and business practices and new storefronts. They want to grow their existing business but also grow into new regions. So for us this year at Adobe Commerce at Summit, it's been really about our new Adobe Commerce as a cloud service offering, which is a fully composable software as a service offering, cloud-based, fully extensible, which reduces the total cost of ownership significantly, but also reduces the complexity in building out solutions and building customizations and applications. So it really gives people a fast jump on point to deliver the commerce experiences they want for their customers to drive revenue. The other big announcement we had this year at Summit, which I'm particularly close to, is I'm very, very aligned with Adobe Commerce Optimizer, which is really when we look at the last year's worth of experience in particular with customers, and they're all feeding back to us that they've invested in other solutions or they've bought previous platforms from different vendors in the commerce world, but they've struggled to deliver the experiences they want to deliver on those platforms. Because again, it's all about experience management. So what we've done is we've taken 2 or 3 of our core products and effectively built a new solution, which is around catalog management, but delivering experiences, and that's regardless of what commerce platform you're on. So this is designed to go on any commerce platform, any vendor, including Adobe Commerce, the open source community, other big vendors you may know in the organization, but also for self-builds. So there's a lot of customers who have self-build commerce products, and they struggle to really adapt to a modern world of personalized experiences. So this is a great way of doing that. And it doesn't require a replatform, which is the key thing customers are saying. We do not want a replatform. So that's why we've really lent into Adobe Commerce Optimizer.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. So talking about business impact or bringing in the business perspective, so which value brings the Adobe Commerce Optimizer to merchants, and do you have some use cases which you can share?
Yes, absolutely. So the core value we look at to drive for businesses are the commerce metrics, the ones we all know and love in terms of organic traffic. So Optimizer and Adobe Commerce as a cloud service are really centered on how we drive organic traffic to the storefront, how we then harness that traffic into a conversion funnel effectively, so increasing traffic rates, conversion rates, and that's really where we lean into the personalization story. For both solutions, the performance is key because that does drive higher volumes, but similarly, you can then enhance on top of that with personalization, one-to-one personalization, showing the customer you know them, test and learn with A/B testing and variations, and that's really where you can take that increased traffic volume, turn it into revenue. So that's key, and that's what most customers are saying they struggle with, is the content creation policies. There's more and more content demands on our teams. The merchandisers are struggling more and more with creating the experiences for their brands. So particularly with Adobe Commerce Optimizer, it's all about loving those merchandisers, showing them that there's tools for them there, using some of the capabilities in Optimizer. We have visuals powered by AM assets, which is included in the product, and it's super powerful because it brings in Adobe Express, it brings in Adobe Firefly, so you can manipulate your product images quickly and easily with like non-technical Photoshop skills, for example, in a UI, and then publish those directly into your commerce instance. So it's really premier experiences to drive revenue through focused audiences. And that aligns completely with your segmentation strategies. So if you've got different audience segmentations in commerce, you want to provide different experiences for them, all entirely possible via the front end.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Let's talk about Adobe Commerce Cloud, the new solution, and especially the impact which this have on merchants who are currently running a successful business on Adobe Commerce on-prem. And how could a migration path could look like, and which key advantages come with the new solution?
Yeah. So that's, again, great question. I would start off by saying that I want to reinforce the idea that Adobe isn't turning away from any versions of our existing Adobe Commerce solution. So on-prem, Adobe Commerce Cloud, our existing platform as a service solution, we're continuing to support those. There's no change to those support policies or the enhancements and developments we're doing there. So it's a nice, safe space for you if you're an existing customer. In terms of Adobe Commerce as a cloud service, there's a significant approach on how we're looking at cost of ownership. Because it's a SaaS solution, there will be no more patches for you to do. So the upgrade process is gone. And one of the things we've had a lot of feedback on with the Magento solution that moved into Adobe Commerce is it requires several updates a year often. And that's costly, and the more you open the core and configure and change things with plugins, the more difficult that can be. So the architecture of Adobe Commerce as a cloud service is very much build on the side. It's a service-based approach. So Adobe App Builder, Adobe API Mesh, you can achieve the same results, but without opening the product, but you build it as an application that you can host on the side, and that's all done in Adobe Runtime. So there's no restrictions on the customization or the use case you want to develop. The method of doing it is just a slightly different way. So in that way, you maintain your customization capabilities, but you also remove any need to continuously upgrade.
Okay, yeah, then thank you very much, Shaun, for all these insights that you shared, and still a successful Adobe Summit 2025.
Absolutely, thank you very much for your time.